Okay, so this is the next step in this series of 4 looks that we call the Kate Moss look. And it's very simple. A lot of us go home and say, my makeup's worn off, I want to intensify it, or I want to look a bit sharper or whatever. Well, within this same look, we're going to intensify in here, in the inner corner of the eye, get a little bit more drama, to our eye. And we're going to intensify in the outer corner of the eye. There you go. Just going to rub this on. As I said before, when you're working in the actual crease of the eye, it is actually making your eye bigger, but it's also intensifying the drama of your makeup. Here I am going underneath the eye to make it bigger, actually. Not only does it make your eye perhaps look more attractive, but also it makes it bigger. And there we go. We're going to do the same thing out here. And then we're going to do the same thing in here. By the way, I just blew on my brush because if you have too much powder on your brush, you probably end up making a big stain in your makeup. So I blow on my brush, by the way. Now, I'm going right up, look up. I'm going right up to the edge of the eye. There you go. And on the other side, blending softly. She looks nice. And now I'm going to take a very simple, if I can find it, black pencil. Yes. I'm going to use a black pencil. Okay. A lot of girls kind of associated this with a kind of a rock and roll look. Well, I'm going to do this. This looks quite good on a lot of girls. Right up here on the edge of the eye, because if you put the black pencil in the eye and you don't have it going between the lashes, it's not as finished looking. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to blend this. I'm blending this with a small-ish brush, a soft brush though, not a sharp brush. And I'm blending it right in between the lashes. It's what a lot of people called a kind of a smudgy black eye. Now we're getting out. And we're just using the actual greasiness of the pencil to get the eye to run a bit. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go a little bit in between the lashes with the pencil. I'm not making, as you can see, a hard line. I'm actually just putting little points that I'm actually going to blend together with this soft brush. You don't want to irritate the eye. And I'm going to blend this together to make a smudgy black eye. And it's very simple because we can all just do a lot with a black pencil. We don't have to go out and buy tons and tons of makeup. And now I'm going to put on more mascara. There you go. Right to the root, by the way. Mainly the roots, because it really thickens up the lashes. If you want to do this look, a lot of people want to have long lashes, so they kind of forget about the roots. But you have to start really right in at the root and head out to the end of the lash. And that way it makes them a really nice shape. It's worthwhile having an eyelash comb, if you like mascara. And that means that you can pile on layers and layers of mascara because you actually comb it through each time, making sure that the lashes line up and look pretty. And now I'm just going to take in, this is a great color to have. It's a brown that has no reds in it whatsoever. Probably a little bit like coffee. And it's really useful for intensifying in little areas your makeup. And here, that's just what we're going to do. So we're going to take the outer corner of the eye and we're going to blend it. I used a small brush, kind of small flat brush, to actually do that shape. And then I'm actually going to blend this with a bigger brush as usual, a nice soft brush to blend this through. I'm going to go right into the lashes here. And it's just a way of cheating and making the lashes look a bit thicker. And the eyes, it's always doing the same thing. It makes them look beautiful, but it also makes them look more intense and bigger. There's reasons why we do things for beauty, but there's also reasons why we do things to cheat on the actual shape of the eye. You can use your fingers, there's no problem, or using brushes, whatever is easiest for you. There I go, just blending. You see? I'm just going to use my finger in here. There we go. I'm just going to add on kind of skin tone. Now a bit of highlights here again. Highlights here again. Highlights up here. To bring out the shape of the face. There we go. These are all the high points on the face that I always highlight again, even the chin. Now I'm just going to add in a little bit of blush so that she doesn't look just with heavy eye makeup or intense eye makeup. I'm taking it back here, the blush, going right up her actual cheekbone, as you can see. Like this. Warm up her brow. It kind of pulls it all together where the actual colors are moving across the face, creating, you know, like skin does, just one color. So it doesn't look like you have, you know, a patchwork of colors. Your skin all becomes one by putting, you know, just a little bit of blushes here and there, warming up the brow bone and things like this. This is actually creating unity for the face so that it kind of sits on your face like a glove. Okay, and that was, by the way, that was a kind of a pale pink cream blush. I'm just going to check out her brows as usual. Make sure they're nicely groomed. And for this, I'm probably going to just groom her eyebrow a wee bit more. Fill in any of the little holes in here. I'm using actually a very square, short brush. It's called a hard brush. For eyebrows, actually, it's very important to have a hard brush because you're often giving shapes to the actual eyebrow. So you need a brush that actually is hard enough to create those shapes. If it's too soft, you'll just kind of get a blur and not a shape. These are kind of neutral colors. If you notice again, this whole makeup is based on, apart from the blush, is based on really neutral colors that contain no red. So that's a kind of a, you could call it a khaki, that's kind of like a caramel, that's a pale beige, and that's a kind of a dead brown. These four colors actually will suit pretty much every skin tone and hair color. It's very important that your brows do not look fake. So there's, unless you really have, you know, unusually tinted eyebrows, these are very natural eyebrow colors. And so I mix these as I wish to create the eyebrow darker or just purely natural, or in this case, I'm just trying to go for simply subtle and I'm going to fill in the holes. So there we go. I'm following her eyebrow shape. I'm not changing it. I'm trying to make it that you cannot see the color I'm using, so I'm trying to just slip it in. Whoops, don't move. Otherwise, you're going to have a very high eyebrow if you pull it up. You'll be stuck. So I'm just filling in just to intensify her eyebrows slightly. This is a very useful makeup to do because it actually fits anybody's face. This style of makeup, I mean, you can, you know, take this in any of its steps. You don't have to do so intense. But all these things called eyebrow grooming all make the face wake up. And these type of natural colors are really essential. Okay. Now we just brush up the brows. As you can see, we don't really have a fake looking eyebrow, and yet I think we've intensified it slightly, giving her face more character. So I'm just going to check here. When you do eye makeup, you can sometimes follow underneath the eyes where you've worked and go back over it. Here in this case, it's with a foundation brush, which is a flat brush. Okay? But you can use your fingers, it doesn't matter. And I often take the end of what was my foundation and I just clear up anything that's kind of a bit too smudgy or doesn't look right. And I just clean it up and go really over it quickly. Okay? And just to finish off, we're just going to powder down the face. And that's really step 2. What's a very simple, but very modern makeup. There's no lip color here. I haven't changed the lip color. I'm not going to do that yet. She doesn't need it. In her case, she's beautiful lips. And as you notice, we put on a gloss in the first step. This is the second step. We don't need to change it. We've actually intensified her eyes. This is a look in itself. You don't always have to have more lipstick. This is just fine the way it is. She has a highlighter on the top of her lip. It actually makes her lips come out. She does have full lips. We've put a bit of gloss on her lip to make her lip look shiny and kind of fresh. So there you go. You've got highlighters right around her face, bringing out all her cheekbones, eyebrow bones. You've got a lovely pink gloss, a glossy kind of a shimmery cream blush coming up on the side of her face. We've intensified her eyes, given it a bit of character, but actually we've made her eyes bigger. So all this is what you call beautifying. And it turns out to be actually a trendy look as well. Okay, so that's step number 2.